Hi, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. That is 7th February. We are starting very important topic. This is actually part 2, importance of termination and joints for underground cables. Today, our knowledge partner is Polycab. The speaker is Ravi Lokande. So, before we start the webinar, I would like to play a video. Actually, it's an anthem of NFE. I will like to stop the sharing. Then I will just a minute. I will share the anthem of NFE.
विद्युत हो विश्वसनीय हर जीवन में उजियारा दुर्घटना रहित भारत यही हमारा सहारा विद्युत हो विश्वसनीय हर जीवन में उजियारा दुर्घटना रहित भारत यही हमारा सहारा
सुरक्षा से जीवन
सुरक्षा से विश्वास
एनएफई का संदेश
पूरे भारत के पास
प्रमाणित उत्पाद प्रशिक्षित जन यही है सुरक्षित भारत का मन
हम एक ही अगिर का मानन हम एक ही अगिर का मानन
हम प्रयासरत हैं निरंतर गुणवत्ता से सुरक्षा का विस्तर सतत विकास की इस राह पर एनएफई है भारत का आधार
विद्युत सुरक्षित भारत एनएफई
विज्ञान से सुरक्षा भारत की पहचान
एनएफई एनएफई
That's the spirit of NFE which I just showed you, and very passionately we play this video in all our programs. So, just before we start the beginning of the webinar, I would like to introduce NFE, which you have already seen in the anthem. We are just 3 years old association, one of the fastest growing society in India. We have almost close to 3,000 members today, which is the record breaking. And we believe wherever there is electricity, our NFE should be there to create an awareness on safety of electrical equipment. So, why we are here? So, to make every electrical installation free from accident, such as electrocution, fire due to short circuit, and increase the reliability of it. So, vision is very clear, and mission is we shall strive to achieve our vision through getting accredited for products and personal certification. If you see, we have almost done 5 to 6 accreditation certification program since last 1 year. So we are very focused on certifying electrician, consultant, the designers, and the contractors. So what we do, create awareness on electrical safety, like the one what we have today, improve the skills of practicing electrical engineer, improve safety measures followed by the industry, followed in the industry, introduce modern safety measures in engineering to improve quality of electrical installation. We have 3 categories of membership. We have one individual member, which is around 1,000 rupees a year, and we have a corporate membership, MSME. Also, we have student chapter. We introduced student chapter because it's very important that the engineering students continue to be in the same profession now after not finishing the degree, not to move away from the industry, because India today need more electrical qualified electrical engineer. We are coming out with student chapter in every college in India. Well, through that, we're going to touch upon 42,000 schools across India. It's a massive program. Through CSR, we are trying to achieve this figure of educating 42,000 school children. It's a mammoth uh, exercise that we are doing. So, my name is Dominic. I'm a founding member of NFE, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all engineers as consultant utility professionals. So in part one, we discussed the fundamental of underground cabling, design intent, selection criteria, and installation challenges. Today in part two, we move to one of the most critical and failure-prone aspects of underground power system, cable terminations and joints. Across India, we see that large percentage of underground cable failures do not occur in the cable itself, but at the termination point and joints. So, due to improper workmanship, moisture ingress, incorrect accessories, thermal stress, and non-compliance with recommended practices, these failures lead to outages, costly repairs, safety risk, and loss of confidence in underground network. So in today's session, we will discuss not just from the performance perspective, but also from safety, reliability, and life cycle cost standpoint. So we are fortunate to have Polycam as our knowledge partner for today's session, a brand that has constantly contributed to strengthening India's power infrastructure through quality product, technical expertise, and field experience. Polycab always supports NFE's initiative. They have been our knowledge partner in most of our workshops and seminars. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Ravi Lokhande, the National Sales Head of Polycab India Limited, who will share practical insight on correct termination and joints practices, common mistakes seen on the site, selection of accessories. So here is Ravi Lokhande, who is the National Sales Head of Polycab. He's a seasoned business leader with 22 years of experience in electrical power industry. He has worked across various sectors, gaining expertise in SF6, circuit breakers, isolator, lightning arrestor, medium voltage covered conductor, cables, wires, and cable accessories. And myself, I've been in the fire industry almost 36 years, and most of you know me. And I've been hosting many webinars these last 2 years, more than 180 webinars been done in last 2 years. So I now welcome Ravi to take over from me. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you, Dominic. Thank you very much. And thanks for introductions, man. So I will just introduce Mr. Chiranjeev. Chiranjeev is our marketing head, does the marketing activities all across the India. He wants to run one first Polycab corporate video, and after that we can directly go on the subject part. Over to Chiranjeev. Let's go.
Yeah, thanks. Ravi.
In every heartbeat of a home, in every spark of a city, there's a rhythm powered by Polycab. Every great journey begins with a spark, a dream to connect, to conduct, to empower. From the very beginning, safety has been our promise, a promise that powers homes, protects lives, and builds trust. What began as a dream in a modest shop in 1964 was wired into reality in 1983 as Polycab India Limited, now India's largest wires and cables manufacturer. From wires and cables that protect your loved ones, to fans that cool your homes, to lighting that brightens your spaces, Polycab touches lives in more ways than you can imagine. Polycab is a true manufacturing marvel. With state-of-the-art facilities, backed by robust R&D and integrated capabilities. We are not just building products, we are partners in building India. From temples to tech, from railways to runways. Behind every product is a passionate team. 4,800 plus employees, 4,300 plus distributors, and 200,000 plus retail outlets united by Polycab Soch. Our commitment goes beyond business. Through CSR, we uplift communities in education, healthcare, agriculture, and more. Sustainability isn't a checkbox. It's the rhythm of our future, and we are tuned in, driven by a purpose to make homes safer and enable a secure India. Polycab has grown exponentially. As the nation progressed, Polycab became the nervous system, laying copper veins of connectivity. Polycab is truly a made-in-India brand. With a global reach, our pulse is now heard across continents.
We are a family in this line from 4 decades. Work hard and work for India. We want to expand our capacity too large because I want to grow, I want to get others grow, I want to support everybody, and I want to see that our country should grow.
Beyond all lies our true mission, people. Every product we build, every solution we deliver, carries our vision of connecting all to a bright and safe future. When you choose Polycab, you choose safety, reliability, and a partner for life.
Thanks, Chiranju. Let me share my screen now. So as you have seen all of my screen is visible. Yeah, okay. So as all of you seen the Polycab corporate video and our complete portfolio. So I will not again run on the Polycabs what we are offering and our introduction part. We will directly go on the cable accessories part and why cable accessories are very important in the system. That we will see first. And as Dominic explained the flow of the our technical presentation, and that way only we will go. So just I want to give one brief about the why cable accessories are important. Here I have mentioned 4 case studies, or actually 4 things which I have personally seen in the market or at the customer place. So one of the utility lost 78 crores of revenue only because of failure of the one termination. Even though he has the alternative supply, but that time period to switch over the switch from one supply to another, it takes some time, and that time period is also not acceptable that industry. So during that 30 seconds of time, 78 crores of revenue that industry lost. Another example is that in 3 years of time, one of the utility lost 35 crores of the revenue. They invested 35 crores in rectification of joints and terminations. Another is that 11 joints are failed in a row when they are charging that cable. That's because of the poor quality of the cable accessories. And another example is the 7 number of joints failed within a 6 months of times. I will just highlight point area. Yeah. So 6 months of time. So these are the four examples which I always discuss with the customers, because why cable accessories are important. Because if you see the cable accessories part, price is not a concern. Actually, price very at initial stage, customer always feel that his price is very low. So why should bother about the prices? But if you see the complete cost or complete cycle of the cost, it's very huge uh, cost customer incurred when joint or termination fail. So it's not the only the replacement of the joint or termination. When you see that rectification of joints and termination you require, there are huge tasks is there. If you see the, I have mentioned in this slide. So one has to do the planning and designing, the site survey, feasibility study, and engineering design has to do. Then local approvals from government and state utility, government utility approvals has to be done by that customers. Then pre-execution activity, marking, utility detection, where the joint fail, termination fail. Traffic plan, if it is metro cities, so you have to plan the traffics. Then safety setup also you have to mention. Then excavation and soil handling also the tremendous task. Digging of the soil storage, where to be that soil store, then disposal. These activities also should be there. Then joint installation, prepare the pit, do the installation work, and then again do the testing, do the phasing activity, RYB this side, RYB that side. That phasing activity has to be done properly. If it is not done, then you know what happened if R goes to Y goes to B. Then backfilling and restoration also has to be do once you do the all the complete jointing work, and finally the documentation and handover. So these are the different activities one has to do if it is joint or termination fail. And yes, you can from this you can understand how this is a mammoth task to do jointing work. If it is metro city like Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Delhi, so you will this is very difficult task because on road every cables is laid side the road. So trafficking and everything has to be done properly. So that's why underground cabling work or underground jointing is very important. So let's see why cable accessories are required actually then. If it is so important, and but basic reason comes why cable accessories are required. Because anyone wants to avoid the cable accessories. If we get the cables kilometer to kilometer length, so why should we use the joints then? We can directly use the termination. So let's see why cable accessories are required. First is we cannot manufacture cables in the unlimited length. We have a restriction because of the spool length, transportations. So we cannot manufacture cables kilometer to kilometers. So jointing, cable jointing is a process. So when you do not manufacture 500 more than 500 1 kilometer of joint, so you have to join those two cables. So jointing is required. Then that cable has to terminate at the equipment. So their terminations is required. And overall, this cable accessories ensure electrical, mechanical, and environmental integrity of the system. That's why cable accessories are required. In in between, if we have any questions, anything, we can park those questions at the end. We will discuss on that your queries at the end. So let's see. When if from the what you are expecting from the heat shrink accessories. Actually, I categorize these thing in three categories. One, any cable accessories has to be perform electrical performance. It should ensure electrical current carrying capacity has to be there, like cables only. Electrical insulation has to be given and provide electrical stress control. So electrical performance has to be done by the cable accessories. Then environmental steering, because electrical performance is the basic thing, but environmental protection, because water should not go from that point. Oil, if oil is there, so oil leakage should not be happen. Resistance to mechanical damage, and third one is the safety and compliance. So these three things has to be covered by the cable accessories. These are the basic things any cable manufacturer has to give. So before understanding the cable accessory, we should understand the cables also. Basically, once we understand the cables, we can better understand the cable accessories. So I have just, I have, in this slide, we will just see the glimpse of the cable, power cables. So generally, cables are categorized in low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, extra high voltage, and UHV, ultra high voltage. So we categorize cable depending on the voltage class. So low voltage is 1.1 kV, medium voltage 3.3 to 42 kV, high voltage 55 to 66 kV, extra high voltage 110 kV to 220 kV, and UHV ultra high voltage 400 to 500. Then cables also, underground cable is there, overground cables are there. Underground cables we know very well. Overground there are two cables. One is aerial bunch cables, because aerial bunch cables also require the cable accessories, and the nowadays medium voltage cable accessories, medium voltage cover conductors are extensively used by the utility in kilometers to kilometer length in the forest area, in the densely populated area. So there also the cover accessories required. Depending on the insulations, we categorize cables: XLP, PLC, EPR, and PVC cables. So cross-link polyethylene XLP cables. PLC cables nowadays, no cable manufacturer manufactures, but whatever PLC cables are in the system, so that cables if fails, so we have to use the transition joint. EPR cables is there and PVC cables are there. Depending on the conductors, aluminum or copper, we categorize, and depending on the core, single core, three core, or multi core. So we categorize the cables. Generally, sizes come 16 square mm to 2500 square mm. These high square mm's are used for the extra high voltage categories, but for up to 33 kV, we use the more 400 for three core, or sometimes 500 square mm also. For single core, we go 800 or 1000 square. Let's see the construction of the cables. This is the basic idea I want to give the cables. So I have shown here the copper cable actually. This is copper cable. So here copper is there, copper might be there, aluminum might be there, and this is the three core cables. So just see the construction. How is the construction of the cables is there? Copper conductor is there, or might be aluminum conductor, or that semiconducting layer is there. That's a black color. Then over that XLP insulation, or that again semiconducting layer. Then three cores bunched together. Feelers are there to give the round shape. Then we wrap there. The wrapping tapers are there. Then armory is there, and then the outer sheet is there. So this is the basic construction of the cables. Depending on the conductors, solid, compact, compressed, or concentrics are there. Nowadays, milligun conductors are used. These milligun conductors are for the EHV side. Now let's come to the heatsink cable accessories. So generally, there are two technologies are used in India or across the world. One is a heatsink technology, another one is a cold shrink technology. But in India, we use 99% heatsink technology. Why? Because of our experience right now, what we have the experience from last 30, 36 years, 40 years. Heatsink technology or heatsink cable accessories gives the better performance in terms of electrical insulation, mechanical protection, environmental sealing, and stress relief. So if you see the key features of the heat shrink technology, generally heat shrink ratio comes 2:1, 3:1, but that is tubings. It is an excellent dielectric strength. Its resistance to abrasive, chemical, and UV protection, and it's a wide operating range. So heat shrink tubes have the operating range up to 120, 150 degrees centigrade. So what is heat shrink technology actually? It's especially formulated polymer materials that shrinks when we give the heat to that heat shrink tubes. That's a heat shrink technology. Many a times we use cross-linking process in the cable accessories, even in cables also. So there are two ways of cross-linking. One is a chemical cross-linking or chemical curing method. Another one is the e-beaming method. So these two technologies are generally used by the manufacturer. This cross-linking gives the two things. One is the thermal properties to the tubes, and one other is the mechanical properties. So these two things we get by the cross-linking process. Very interesting part in the heat shrink technology comes the memory effect. Many times you might be heard that memory effect of the heat shrink tubings. So what's the heat shrink to memory effect? Its memory effect is that when we send heat shrink tubes to site, it is an expanded form. And when you give heat to that tubes, it shrink. So it shrink up to the point where we want to shrink it or what we have designed it. It's like when I said in the last slide, 2 as to 1. It means that if I send heat shrink to 100 by 50, it means that 100 expanded and 50 shrinking time. So when we give heat to that tubes, it shrink up to 50 square mm only, not below the 50 square mm. That's a memory effect. So cable accessories application, if you want to see, so there are, I can say wherever cables are there, heat shrink cable accessories are required, or cable accessories are required. So industrial or commercial infrastructure, underground power distribution networks are there, substation switchyards, and renewable energy. These are the different applications. As I said, where cable goes, accessories required. That's the application. We cannot use cables without the accessories. Like in home, we can twist the wires, but in cables, we cannot do. By two reasons. One is you cannot twist, even though if you use with the lugs and terminate, but XLP cables are not for the open environment. So that's why you have to be do the termination for the cables. One more interesting part, actually, thin wall heat shrink tube. These thin wall heat shrink tubes in different color, RYB colors or neutral colors. So these thin wall tube is a 600 volt heat shrink tubes. It is extensively used for the insulation of wires, automotives, appliances, wire harnesses. So we have started this heat shrink technology, heat shrink tubes also. Reason behind developing this product is that right now in India, all this business scattered by the Chinese manufacturer in a huge volume. So if you might be seeing these heat shrink tubes coming from the China, and you might be using in the panels for RYB. So, but Polycab has started this heat shrink tubings under the complete Make in India drive, and we are selling these products to most of the appliance wire harness customers. So let's come back to the cable accessories part. Actually, heat shrink tube is also the cable accessories part only. So we classify this cable accessories on different classes: low voltage, medium voltage, high voltage, and extra high voltage. These are the different classifications are there. So low voltage is up to 1.1 kV, where many times you are using with the lugs and glands, cable lugs and connectors basically. But nowadays awareness are created, awareness are coming with the customers, and customers do not want low voltage cables open to environment. They want to seal that XLP with the termination part. So we have a low voltage cable accessory, that's a termination, indoor termination, outdoor termination, and the joint. So we have the heat shrink joints and termination in the low voltage category also. For medium voltage, we classified again indoor termination, outdoor termination, joint, straight through joints, and transition joint. Transition joint are generally for the one side XLP cable, another side PLC cable, or different sizes of cables are there. So transition joints are also there. And one of the project touch-proof plug-in terminations. Nowadays in metro cities, RMUs are using, GIS are uses. So their specific type of terminations are required. That's a touch-proof termination. Some call touch-proof termination, some calls screen termination to that part. Here I have shown the termination. That's a low voltage termination. This is the termination, outdoor termination, indoor termination, and this is joint. In olden days, actually, or some of the customers still using this old technology, that's a resin cast joint. This resin cast joint is two ways disadvantages. One, this is not environment friendly. You cannot throw tin boxes of this resin cast joint on the open. You have to be disposal plan for this joint boxes. Another is the to time taken to do this jointing work. It almost takes 1 hour, or 1.5 hours to do the because you have to mix resin and hardener together almost 40 minutes, half an hour actually. You have to properly mix it and then pour it in the joint. And after pouring, you have to give the settling time almost half hour or 1 hour to settle that. And after that, only you can charge. But in the heat shrink joints, you can prepare the cable, do the ferruling activity, shrink the tubes, and immediately you can charge. So within a half an hour, you can do the jointing work or heat shrink jointing work and charge the system. So that's the best part of the heat shrink cable accessories in the low voltage. Instead of using the resin cast joint, you can use these heat shrink technology joints and termination and save the time and save the environment. This comes in 3.5 core, 4 core, single core, 2 core, depending on your cables. Its cross section is 10 to 400 square, even 630, 800 is required. That also possible. We have done type testing as per IS 13573 part 1. Now let's see the medium voltage cable accessory. This medium voltage cable accessory is 11 kV to 33 kV, or sometimes you can say 3.3 and 6.6 kV. If industrial application is there, that also we can do that. So based again here is also based on the technology. We bifurcate heat shrink or cold shrink. Right now, Polycab offers only the heat shrink technology joint because heat shrink is widely used in India. Right now, we are not offering the cold shrink technology. Or based on application also straight through joint, transition joint, and branch joint. That are based on application, we categorize the medium voltage joint. Again, it's a 3 core, a single core. As per your cables, we can give the cable accessories. We have done type testing of the medium voltage also as per IS 13573 part 1. Now let's see in detail functions or principles of the cable accessory joints. We will first see the joint part actually. So generally, I have broadly categorized joint in 5 parts. One is a electrical connection has to do that joints or termination. Another one is stress controlling has to do. Third one is the electrical insulation has to do. And mechanical protection has to be done by the canister user. And fifth one is environmental sealing. These are the 5 applications any joint has to do. So let's see first is the connectors. So to do the electrical connection, we use the ferrules or mechanical connector. So generally, jointers or technicians prepare the cables, open the conductors, and in this part we use the ferrule. And we crimp that ferrule. If it is ferrule, we crimp by the crimping tool. If it is mechanical connector, we shear off this bolt by the spanner. So it is used for connecting 2 cables. First thing, its design is for the low resistance. Its resistance should be low. It's as equal as to cables. Then it might be aluminum, copper, or copper alloy, depending on the cables. If cable is copper, we have to use the copper ferrules. If it is aluminum, we can use the aluminum ferrules. Another is the stress control tube. So this is, I say, the heart of the joints. Basically, stress control tube is the heart. So our quality of the stress control is the best we can say. I can say the best in the world class. So any cable accessories failure or foremost failure reason is the 2 reason. One is the ingress of water. Another one is the quality of the stress control tube. Third one is the installation of the stress control tube at a proper place. So these are the different reasons of the jointing failures or termination failures. So stress control tube, if you see, so I have shown here 2 examples. One is a without stress control tube and another with stress control tube. So is in the first photographs you see conductor is there. We have prepared conductor. I can say this is a conductor. Over that XLP insulation, and over that we remove this semiconducting layer up to that point. And if we do the connection of the cables, and if we charge this cable at this position, you can see flow of equipotential lines. So this is the earth part. This is the earth part. So equipotential line concentrate at this point. If you say 70-80% of the equipotential line concentrate at this point, and failure will be start at this point only. This is a highly stressed area and subject to partial discharge. If we do not use stress control tube or proper stress control tube which have good impedance characteristics, well-balanced permittivity is maintained, then failure will start from this point only. Now let's see what happened if we use the stress control tube. So this is a stress control tube we have installed on the cable, and yellow part is a stress grading mastic. So now see, when you charge the cable and see how equipotential lines are deflected now. It is not concentrating at this point. So stress is not developed at this point, and failure will not happen at this point. That's why stress control tube is very important for any cable accessories manufacturer. You take from medium voltage to the extra high voltage also. Generally, up to 66 kV, we use heat shrink stress control tube, but above 66 kV, that's a semi molded stress controls. It's silicon-based molded stress control or cold cell stress control tubes are there. Tubes are there because cones, basically proper word is stress cones. Now let's see. So this sequence is like that. We have made the joints of that ferrule. Over that, we have to use the stress grading mastic, because after crimping, air gaps form at this point. So you have to fill those air gaps by stress grading mastics. So you have to use the stress grading mastic here and at this point also. So stress grading mastic is very critical component, and we have to use this stress grading mastic because whatever steps forms at the edge of semiconducting screen at this point, that should be avoided. So that's why we use the stress grading mastic. It is a wide filling has the wide filling property. So we use the ferrule to connect the cables. We use the stress control to control the stresses. We use the stress grading mastic for wide filling application. Now let's build the electrical insulation. See, cable accessories is nothing but the cables. It is the preparation of the cable at site, I can say, or manufacturing of cables at site. So we are preparing exact layer what cables are there, like conductors are there. So we are using the ferrules or mechanical connectors. Like semiconducting layers are there in the cables, we are giving the stress control tubes and stress control mastic. Now XLP insulations is there. So we are using the co-extruded dual wall tubes for the insulation purpose. So inside it is the insulated, outside is the semiconducting layer. So it provides electrical screening and insulation, making it maintaining the integrity and safety of the power system. So this is the electrical insulation. Like XLP insulation, we are giving the dual wall tubes. Now for fifth part, mechanical and environmental sealing. So in the cables, we use the armoring. Armoring has the two purpose. First one is the mechanical protection, and second one is a short circuit current. So we give the BB canister. That's a canister is there over there. armoring, armoring. So they use the mechanical protection also and the short circuit current also. And over that, we use the this heat shrink sleeves. This is the outer sleeve. So with this, our joint made ready for the charging of the cables. So till this, till the time we have completed the joint part actually. So this is actual joint photographs we can say, and almost 13 different components are required for the joints. So we see aluminum or copper ferrule, stress grading mastics, stress grading tubes, red insulating tubes, double layer tubes, black sealing mastics we use so that ingress of water should not go from that point. Tin copper wire mesh we use as a copper mesh is there in the cables. Roll springs are there. These are the basic components, sub kits. We always call sub kit. And over that, last is a insulating tube. This one is a insulating tube. This is a HMA coated, alt mid adhesive coated insulating tubes, so that it shrinks and water will not go from this point, because we say that water is a cancer for cables. If water goes inside the cables or inside the joint, today or tomorrow, joint will fail. Now, let's see the termination parts. So generally termination has, I said, two: indoor termination, outdoor termination. Old days epoxy type terminations are using, but nowadays no one is using epoxy type termination, but heat shrink termination, cold shrink terminations are there. Another is a touch proof or screen terminations are for RMA or GS termination. So it's a voltage range is 11 kV to 33 kV, size single core or three core, and cross section 16 square mm to 1000 square mm. Here are the components of the uh, terminations. So heat shrink stress control tube, anti-tracking tube, range shades, lugs, mastic, sealant tape, earth bleeding, earth lugs, armoring, and cleaning kit. So with these components, complete terminations part is happen. Like joints, ferrules are there. In termination, lugs are there. So in XLP, insulations are there. So anti-tagging tubes are there. Rain shades are used for the extend the creepage of the termination. So we will see one by one of these components functions. Let's see lugs. Again, in the joint, lugs has a current carrying part. Ferrule has the current carrying part. In the termination also the current carrying parts. Generally, bimetallic lugs nowadays people prefers, or mechanical lugs prefers, or if aluminum conductor is there, the aluminum lugs are there. So it is a current carrying part. It is connecting to equipment or cables. It should be designed for low resistance and can be aluminum copper alloy, can be cream or mechanical share of both, and it can be bimetallics. Here I have shown the dowels. Dowels is the Polycab subsidiary, and in the dowels we manufacture lugs, glands, all types of. And this is the oldest company in India for the manufacturing of the lugs and glands. Like stress control tube in the joint, same function is there in the termination also, because stresses also develop in the termination. Same functions are there, same application is there. So I will not go in detail about the here in the termination part. Anti-tracking tubes, range shades, and cable breakout. These three are the important part in the termination. So anti-tracking tube is a specialized heat shrink insulating tube. It reconstructs the cable by providing insulation and tracking resistance. So these are the anti-tracking tubes. It prevents surface electrical tracking and consequent flash fire also. These tubes are indoor, outdoor applications are there. Rain shades, these are the rain shades. So rain shades are, these is the rain shades. So rain shades are used to enhance the safety and performance. It increases creepage distance of the cable termination. Generally, we use rain shades for the outdoor terminations. Indoor termination, we do not use that rain shed, but sometimes one rain shed will gives one or two if it is in the moist condition or coastal areas are there where in the rainy seasons humidity is very high humidity in the transformer box. So there are chances of face to face or face to earth faults. At that time, for indoor termination, we use the rain shed. We use breakout for the termination. It is a trifurcating breakout, so that cores should be separated to each other and water should not grow. Water should not go from this point in the cable. So that's why we use the breakout. So here I have shown the polycab range. What is the polycab range actually? It's a 1.1 kV to 33 kV on Earth. We are manufacturing, supplying the cable accessories now. We are ready for that. So this is the complete range of the cable accessories up to 33 kV. We have done testing as per IS 13573. And we have a very good capacity. Almost 5,000 kits we can manufacture per month. Till date, we have installed 79 numbers of 11 kV kits in our own factory. Now let's see the manufacturing facility. Here we have seen the technicality of the cable accessories. Let's see the manufacturing facility also, because you should know the what's the manufacturing facility any manufacturer has. Are they manufacturing in-house or the importing material or something that. So every compounding we have done, we can do inside. So we do compounding also. After compounding, extrusion process. So we have the compounding machine to the compounding. Extrusion machines, we have the extrusion machine. We extrude the tubes as per the requirement of the joint. If it is 400 square mm, 300 square mm, according to voltage class, we extrude that. E-beaming is a very costly. If you compare the e-beaming and chemical curing cable accessories, so e-beaming cable accessories are costlier than the chemical curing. But we do all our cable accessories with the e-beaming technology. E-beaming benefit is that we get better mechanical strength, better thermal stability, better chemical resistivity, and builds memory functions very good. Then expansion, we do expansion also in-house. So these are all the activities we do in-house. So this is the e-beaming machines we have. We are everything we do e-beaming. Extrusion machines we have. These are the European machines which we bought from the Europe, Switzerland. That's a Malifor machine, and because of that, we can see the quality is the joint set termination remains constant. As we are manufacturing cables and cable accessories in-house and cables from low voltage to the extra high voltage up to 220 kV, we have very expert team, technical expert team, and same technical expert team works for the cable accessories also. We have all the facility of the testing and quality. Whatever IS standard says, as per IS 13573, we do all the testing in-house, visual examination, dimensions, longitudinal change, wall thickness ratio, tensile strength, volume resistance, dielectric. Everything is in-house. And we do all tests in-house. Here are some photographs of the testing facilities. It's a digital tensile strength machines is there. Digital tracking and erosion machines are there. Vision camera is there. So ID, OD, and thickness uniformity is constant uniformity is there or not. We can see this vision camera. Flammability test we can do in-house. Hot set test we do. Hot air oven test, shock test we do. Volume resistance we do. So now let's see why polycab. So first we have cables, cable accessories, and dowel slugs and glands. So customer can get everything at single point. You will get cables, cable accessories, and dowel slugs and glands. We do all in-house cable accessories we manufacture. All components are manufactured in-house. Machines are European make. As I said, our machines are Malifor machines, e-beam machines, everything is there. Tubings we manufacture by the e-beaming technology. So e-beaming technology always give the robust product, and it's a very high reliable. And as we have almost 4,000 dealer distributor networks, so readily available stocks is there. So here just I have mentioned, I have done the benchmarking. In-house manufacturing heat shrink tubings we have. In-house radiation beaming we have. Our lab is enable accredited lab. Radiation cross-linking heat shrink we do in-house sleeves, all sleeves. State-of-the-art European extruders are there. Connector manufacturings are there. So everything is, if you see, we are in the best in class. Some of the products we have already installed in the system, and we have started the supplying in this field. So let's conclude this summary. My last slide is there. Cable accessory cost wise is not less, but if something happens to them, its cost is very high. So it's very critical. So that's why we should see through the this product as a criticality point of view. If right cables accessories we are used, so cable accessories life will definitely increase. We have to adhere all the standards so that failures will not be happen. Quality and visual checks has to be done, and everything is done. But jointing has to be done by the skilled jointers only. If your joints and terminations greatest quality standards are there, manufactured with the greatest standard, but if jointer does not install properly as per the installation manual, then that joint will definitely fail. So these are the same summary slide of mine. I will show one video to you. That's a manufacturing facility what we have. You can see that and see the how Polycab's manufacturing facility is there, and also see the production lines. I will show this. I will show the video to you. Just only the 3 minutes video is there. You can see that. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, while Ravi is going to put a video, I would request all the audience to share your questions in the Q&A box. There are a few questions in the chat box, so I would request everyone to put up your question. And those who want to talk to Ravi, you can raise your hand. Then I can see there are 2 hands being raised. So I will request you to unmute later. Then you can talk to Ravi or Chiranjeev. I would request you to put up your questions after the video. Thank you. Go ahead. Chiranjeev, there's no audio.
Okay, just
No, audio is not coming.
yeah.
You can unshare and probably take up the video directly.
Okay, just hold on. Sure.
So once again, requesting the audience to type your question in the Q&A box. Very shortly, we will take up the questions.
शेयर तो करते हैं यहाँ में आएगा अच्छा
No,
In
audio is
today's
not coming.
reliable
Yeah,
power
go ahead,
is
go
the
ahead.
backbone of progress. Yet cable jointing failures continue to disrupt utilities, industries, and renewable energy systems, causing downtime, safety risks, and costly repairs. The demand is clear. A solution that's dependable, durable, and proudly Indian. Introducing Polycab's heat shrink cable accessories and thin wall tubing, a game-changing solution under the Make in India initiative. Designed for low, medium, and high voltage applications, Our products deliver superior insulation, reliable environmental sealing, and unmatched durability. From utilities to renewable projects, Polycab ensures connections that last. At Polycab, we don't just manufacture products, we engineer trust. Every stage, from compounding and extrusion to beaming and expansion, is managed in-house with world-class precision. We take pride in housing India's only integrated setup for complete cable and accessories manufacturing. From LV, MV, and HV cables and accessories to radiation cross-linked heat shrink sleeves and tubing. Our facility includes state-of-the-art European technology extruders for MV tubing, in-house manufacturing of Dowell's brand connectors, and a dedicated facility for radiation beaming of cables and accessories. Our state-of-the-art kitting line produces complete jointing kits in-house under strictly controlled factory conditions, ensuring every component, from heat shrinkable tubing, molded parts, mastics, meets precise combinations for low voltage and medium voltage setups, both 1-core and 3-core. These kits are meticulously packed by our expert team and supplied for seamless global export. Our team comprises qualified engineers with 10+ years of domain-specific experience, ensuring products adhere to the highest standards of performance, safety, and durability. We also have technical experts on board, bringing deep technological knowledge to enable customization for different global markets. Every product undergoes rigorous testing in our NABL accredited laboratory, from high voltage withstand and thermal cycling to UV weathering, ensuring superior insulation, endurance, and watertightness. Full batch traceability and real-time quality control deliver unmatched reliability. This is more than manufacturing. It is a culture of excellence. Polycab goes beyond products. Our EPC vertical delivers complete project execution, giving customers a seamless single-window solution. Through nationwide training and installation support, we empower teams to achieve flawless results. And with a retail network and warehousing that spans small towns to large cities, our products are always within reach, wherever the need arises. Polycab is proud to lead with innovation, scale, and commitment to India's growth story. With in-house manufacturing, state-of-the-art facilities, and unmatched service, we deliver reliable connections that power homes, industries, utilities, and renewables across the nation. Join us in shaping a future built on trust, durability, and Indian excellence. Visit polycab.com to learn more and partner with us today.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Chiranjeev, for this video. So we are now 1 hour, 2 minutes. So we'll quickly take a couple of questions and also interact with some of them. Have raised their hand. So I'll start with first question, then I'll go to the interactive section. So Jayanti Lal, are you okay to take the question, Ravi?
Yes, yes, we can go ahead with the
Are you
questions.
ready? Okay. Jayanti Lal Solanki is asking, what is property stress control tube? How it distributes the stress?
Okay, so it's a specially, as I said, it's a special formulated polymer. It's a polyaluminum material, and some ingredients are there. Compounding is there. So it is specifically formulated polymer material, uh, and ingredients are there. So we cannot reveal the actual what are the ingredients, but it's a special formulated so that permittivity of that stress control tube should be within the limit.
Okay. So Maria is asking, in your experience, are most underground cables failures driven more by human installation error, or is it by limitation in accessory design?
Could you repeat? Yes.
So they're asking, in your experience, are most underground cable failure driven more by human installation errors, or by limitation in accessory design?
No, it's we cannot say actually confidently this is the reason and that's the reason, depending on the analysis. So sometimes it's a human error, sometimes it's accessory design. So when we see the actual installation, or actually we dissect the cable joint, then we can definitely analyze because of what reason it's fail happen. So we cannot give the conclude. We cannot conclude because of this or because of that actually. But definitely joints should be installed by the skilled jointer. It's a very skilled job, and many a times I have personally seen that some helpers helps the jointers for some months, and then after that they start the jointing work. So continuous trainings has to be do those technicians, and our watch to the who is going to do the jointing. He has a certification from the manufacturer. If he do not have the manufacturer's certification, then we should not allow that person to do the jointing work. By that way, we can definitely avoid the failures.
I'm going to Sudhir Kumar Maithane. So can you unmute? And Shivam also, can you unmute? You raised your hand. So I'm requesting you to unmute and you can speak to Ravi. Sudhir, are you there? Or Shivam?
Shivam,
Okay.
you can unmute
I'll take,
yourself.
I'll take the next question. So while they unmute. So Gopal Singh Yadav, what is importance of earthing during termination and after termination?
Importance of earthing.
Important earthing during termination and after termination.
So it's very important earthing, because when we fold back that armoring actually, and we have to connect to the that's armor to the earth bed and do the earthing properly. Because if we do not do the earthing properly, so whatever surface leakage currents are there, circulating currents are there, it will not ground it and it will affect the performance of the termination. So it's very important to do the earthing.
You answered this question, but however, I'm taking it. So most of the joint fails due to competency of jointer. So how to verify its competency before joint work?
Mm, just could you repeat? Actually, I did not get your voice is also cracking. Let me see that
Yeah.
question.
So you said most of time joint fails due to competency of jointing. So
Okay,
how to verify the competency before the joint work?
okay,
Phone
I got
வருதா?
it.
I'll give the phone. இந்த ஏசிடி காரன் கூப்பிடு எங்க வரணும் என்ன வரணும் பேசு.
Okay, so actually, competency always, as I answered previous questions, in the previous question also. So whatever jointers, actual scale jointers coming to you, you should see the certification of that jointer. See the how many joints he has installed in the past. Or you can also verify from the manufacturers. Are they certified from the OEMs or not? That way you can see the jointers skill. Second thing, your supervisors or that person, your supervisor also can understand, take a training from the manufacturer, or with every joint we supply one installation manual. We supply one installation manuals each joint, so the jointer has to do the jointing work according to installation manuals. In the installation manual clearly mention how much cable has to be cut, how much conductor has to be shown, how much XLP insulation has to be how to be cut, and where semiconducting is to be there. And step by step installation has we have given in the installation manual. So you can see while that jointer doing the installation, is he doing by the as per the jointed installation or not? By that way, you can see the competency of the joint also.
Do you have any training program schedule, like if someone wants to accredit himself to be a joint specialist. So how do you approach to Polycab that he wants to get a training? How do you
Yeah.
approach?
So we are happy to do the trainings to the jointers also, to the supervisors also. If someone wants to get the actual hands-on training on the joints, we can do the jointers trainings or supervisor trainings also. So you can connect with us, or you can connect Dominic also.
You know that we almost have a 3,000 members. So with NFA jointly, you can organize, probably, any one of the day in a calendar year. So we can tell our members that Polycab is conducting such training. Well, I'm sure he must be having a lot of trainings. So we can frequently keep telling them such training is happening so that people, the quality of the installation goes up if people can get hands-on training. So please let us know when you have such training so that we can communicate to the members. So
Definitely.
Nityananda is saying cable. I'll repeat. You can also see the questions on the Q&A box. Nityananda is asking, cable joint failure is underground in underground cables results in cable discontinuity or fire. I think fire cannot take place in underground uh, filled ground. So he is answering to the question what he asked. Cable joint failures in underground cable results in cable discontinuity discontinuity. But anyway, I'll pass this question. Uh, Sunil Kumar is asking, upon analyzing 11 kV underground cable faults, maximum faults found occurred either at the termination or a joint. In cable faults, other than the joint's maximum fault found occurred at the end point of the conduit. What might be the reason for the cable fault at the end point of the conduit pipe used for the protection?
Okay. So actually, let me understand this question first. So he is telling that generally he observed the fault at the conduit end, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, let me say that in the system, weakest link is the joints and termination. So if any over voltage short circuits come, so first weakest link is the joint and second is the termination. So failure happens at that point only. In between, it will not happen. If it is happen, then that cable is a weak then at that point.
Okay. Now,
Yeah.
Purna, Jane, you have raised your hand. Would you like to talk to Ravi? You can unmute and speak. Puru Jane, would you like to talk? You have raised your hand. Okay, I'll move on to the next question. In your video, Nityanand, the saying is a video showing the actual cable jointing process will be helpful. He's saying if you have any
Yeah.
video showing actual cable jointing process will be helpful. I'm sure you must be having it. I will ask
Yes.
them to get in touch with you. So Rajinder is asking, what is the difference between heat shrink and cold shrink? Which is better? Which is for which rating?
Okay. So it's as I say, heat shrink and cold shrink. So heat shrink cable actually is the we require the heat to shrink the cables. Whereas in the cold shrink, one core is there polymer. We have to so extract that core and it is shrinks. That's a cold shrink. So it cold shrink is without the heat. We have to only the core has to be pulled out, and while pulling, that part shrinks. That's a cold shrink. So which is better? We can say I cannot say that way, but in India, uh, 99% we use the heat shrink cable accessories from past many years, more than 40 years. Second thing, cold shrink prefers where heat is not allowed, like in mines, refinery, part of there.
So then, could you please suggest effective condition-based monitoring technique for cables, especially for the ST cables, joints or termination to assess their health and predict failures?
Okay, who is asking this?
Sudhir Kumar. The first question on
Oh,
the top.
okay. So actually, in the cable, or basically in the cable or cable accessory, that's the difficult thing to monitor. Actually, actual health of the joints or cable. Nowadays, customers are using partial discharge measurement, PD measurement kind of things. But you cannot do anything. Even the high PD is there. You have to cut the cable at this point or cut the joint and do the rejointing work there. But you cannot rectify in the cable and joint. That's actually a thing. You cannot rectify that same joint like in breakers or other equipments. You can do that kind of maintenance activity. But in cables, that's not possible. But nowadays, few customers, which like I have shown you the 78 crores loss of the one of the customer. So those kind of customers are using the PD monitoring system where they can monitor the PD of the joints and termination. And if PD goes beyond their limit, they before the failure of the joint, they replace the joint. So that kind of conditional monitoring right now is in the system. But
So
that's a very costly.
some of them asking where is manufacturing? I believe it is in Gujarat, isn't it?
Okay, so it's in Gujarat, Halol. So we have across India 28 manufacturing plants, four locations are different. Specifically, cable accessories we manufacture in Gujarat, Halol.
Okay. Sunil Kumar is asking, what are the type of tests prescribed for the cable joints and termination as per IS 13573? What is the maximum fault current rated for the 33 kV ABC manufactured by the Polycab?
Okay. So as per IS 13573, Part 1, it specifies the all types of tests which has to be do, like resistance test, height, dielectric test, short circuit test. These are the different test calls in the IS 13573 Part 1. Generally, for 33 kV, it's a 25 31 K short circuit current is there. Is there any that he's asked about the specifically for the cables, ABC cable. So let me check for the ABC cable. But accessories are manufactured as per the cables.
Swami is asking, will there be any issue when uneven size of cable are joined and material of two different materials are joined with heat sink? It's ring joints.
Okay. Will there be any issue when uneven size of cable? Definitely, if uneven, if what I understand from the question, if it is at one side 240 square m, another side 300 square m is there. So that's called the transition joint. That's a specific joint has to be designed according to that. If you use normal joint, so that joint will not work at that point. So you have to use the specific joint at that. That's a transition joint, right?
Sandeep Saikya is asking, what are the method for health assessment of underground cables and joints apart from IRPA value measurement? Is there any proven and widely used method to predict failures of cables and joints?
So, as I said before that, partial discharge measurement, PD measurement is a system right now across India is there. So by that way, you can predict the failure of the joints and terminations by looking the capacitance of that joint.
Okay, Naresh Rawat is asking, why is why is core size of cable less nowadays? We need to use one size less crimping die or crimp.
This is related to cable actually. So you have to check.
So you're not, yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay. Whether Raj Sukkar is there, Chiranjeev, yeah. Anyway, I'll move on to the next question. Sunil Kumar has a lot of questions, so I'll take the last question from him. Whether the armoring of the cable at two ends of the cable termination is to be earthed or only one side. Whether the earthing on both sides of the cable termination will create circulating current.
Uh, so Sunil, actually, definitely, it's a very good question, and many a times you might be observed these kind of things in the network. if length of the cable is not that much high, and both sides of the terminations are grounded, so circulating current is there, and complete circuit is happens if you both side are the armoring, and because of that circulating current, termination fails. So you should earth at one side only, and that to be source side.
Okay, source side need to be removed. Now, moving to Gopal Singh Yadav is asking, what is the life of the joint and termination of MB cables 33 kV kilowatt?
So ideally it should be life of the cable. It's almost more than 15-20 years. It should be there.
Okay, so another question is also related to life of the joint. Bharat Yadav is asking, different cable manufacturer and cable sizes have different diameter and conductor compaction. How to ensure that the kit is truly the best selection for each layer?
Okay. So generally cables, this is depends on the compactness. Some companies has a greater compactness, some don't have. So it takes care by the ferrules because there are just a crimping ferrule is there. So we do the crimping activity. So it crimps properly because at the both ends, if it is joints, the both joints are both the cables are the same make. So that will be not an issue. If it is mechanical ferrule is there, so mechanical has that property to take care of the little bit conductor sizes. Rest of the XLP insulation, semiconducting layer, harmony is the same. So cable accessory manufacturers takes care of all these things.
Oh, nice to see a lot of questions coming to Ravi, which means the people are quite interested in your presentation. So I will try to quickly ask few more questions, though we are running 1.5 hours. Can you elaborate on Carrington event type of cable failures mitigation by Polycom?
Uh, Carrington event. Carrington events. Could you just
So, Gurudev, can you elaborate in the next question when you ask? Can you elaborate your question? I'll move on to Gopal. What parameters should be checked if failure of termination is frequent?
Okay. So two things are there. First is right now actually, Mr. Sunil asked actually if your two terminations, if your termination is continuously failing. So at both end, if it is earth, you have to check that there should not be circulating current continuous path that yet. And second is the quality of the product. Third is who is installing that skill jointer installing or not. These three things has to be checked here.
Ganupesh is asking, are there any sensor installed in the cable to know real-time error or heat-related issues?
तुम्हारा चालू कर दिया ना sorry
I'll ask
are
you a
there any
repeat
sensor
question.
installed so sorry so sensors actually in the conventional type termination outdoor indoor termination no sensors are there right now. Sometimes nowadays few companies are there who are doing some temperature measurement of PD activity patch on the termination. But in the GIS, actually, gas insulators, their voltage detector kind of thing is there. That kind of sensors are there. But 99% no sensors customers are using in the terminations.
So Abhishek is asking, what is the easiest way to find underground cable, the cable line fault?
What is
Easiest
what
way
is
to find the fault. Quickest and easiest way. Is there any easiest way
easiest way? What
to find the fault?
detect the fault?
Yeah, to find the fault. Is there any easiest way? He's
No,
asking
no, no.
easiest way.
In joint, that's not actually. Only thing is that partial measurement, all that things right now. Not the
So,
easiest way that which joint will fail, or we cannot predict which joint fails.
so what is the life of the termination kit offered by Polycam? Is there any life termination?
So it's basically 15-20 years, not a problem. 15-20 years
This
is
is
there.
very
Cable
specific.
life, whatever cable life is
15-20 years.
there, that's a termination life or joint life.
So again, everybody is asking what the life of the cable and the life of the joint. So solar flare caused grid failure. So Gurudat is asking, solar flare caused grid failure like it happens during the sunspot, like it happened in 2024.
Solar flare cause grid failure.
Grid
Okay.
failures.
So actually, if it is, if I understand properly this question, you can correct me, Gurudat also. If you're asking me a failure happening uh, more in the solar terminations or joints, so that's so true. In solar, many times I have seen that terminations are failing much more than compared to other undergone normal things. So customer has to choose right accessories for the solar because solar farms are installed where high temperatures are there, and during the day high temperatures are there. During the night temperature goes down. So this expansion and contractions happens in 24 hours. That's a very high. If it is summer season, 48 degrees centigrade, like in Rajasthan, 48 degrees there. So night that way is goes to the 10 degree, 15 degree. So these temperature variations are very high, and because of that, failures happen. So we have to choose proper termination or join that part, specifically for solar.
Okay. What Gurudat, uh, again, there's one more question. So Chiranjeev, do you have any slide to put your contact details or Ravi's contact details so that they can write to them directly? However, these
So
all the participants, the people who are registered, the contacts will be given. You can expect the video, the recorded video, once in your mailbox after a day. And also the contact details, Chiranjeev has been typing the email IDs and the
uh,
details. So you can reply to Ravi Lakhande to that mail ID that Chiranjeev has been posting it. However, we will be sending you more details to your mailbox. Polycab will be sending more detail to your mailbox. You can keep checking on your mailbox. Now exactly 1 hour, 1 hour 26 minutes. So I would like to thank Ravi Lokhande for elaborating
just
the.
Dominic, just like last Gurudat call is like one question.
Mm,
So, Gurudat, we can do the any consulting if you are finding repeatedly failure in your system. So we can definitely do the consulting activity at your at your actually farm or whatever is the uh, site is there. We can do that. Dominic
yeah.
Goers.
Yeah, once again, thank you. We had a wonderful session. We had a lot of people from infrastructure companies participating in today's webinar, and this is a part two webinar on the terminations and joint. So it was wonderful to have Ravi Lokhande delivering the session both the time. And as I said, Polycab has been our technical partner and our title sponsor also for various workshop and conferences that we have been doing since last 2 years. And I want to thank for Polycap for sharing this important knowledge on termination joints. We look forward to come back again with some more details, some more webinars from Polycap soon. So thank you very much. Do become a member of NFE, which I've already my colleagues also sharing the detail how to become a member of NFE. We have a strong 3,000 members in the country, one of the fastest growing society in India. I would request everyone to continue, keep tap on our activities. All our webinar schedules are there in the website. And soon we are coming out with workshops in your cities. We have 20 programs from NFE lined up. 10 workshops and 10 conferences. So if you have any more specific questions, please do write to us. We will come back to you. Thank you, Lakshmi and Sumitra, for the backend support. Thank you, Rajshekar, for driving us to conduct this webinar, and well supported by Chiranjeev. And thank you so much for your kind support to NFE. We look forward to see you again. Thank you, Ravi Lokande. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
weekend. Stay safe. Thank you. Bye bye.